What would you do if you discovered that your entire life, every pain, every search, every intuition, and every collapse was driven by a single reason your soul has hidden from you since the beginning? This is not a metaphor, not a poetic mystery. It is the brutal truth revealed by the secret book of John and by Thoth about the exact motive behind your incarnation. In this video, you will understand why your soul descended, what it came to reclaim, and which part of you was torn away at the origin. And if you watch until the end, this key will not only change the way you live, it will change the way you exist. What you are about to hear was never meant to be so easily accessible, but since you have made it this far, it means you are ready. You always believed you incarnated by chance, by destiny, or by some automatic cycle of reincarnation, but that was never true. What you've been calling life was not an accident. It was a calling, a secret summons issued in the silence between the stars. The secret book of John and the teachings of Thoth state the same thing. Your soul descended here because there is something in this world that only you can awaken. It is not karma, it is not punishment, it is not a vague mission, it is precision, it is spiritual necessity. You incarnated because a divine spark imprisoned in matter responds only to the sound of your presence. This is the single reason. This is the hidden truth that this planet has spent your entire life trying to make you forget. And when you finally understand this, everything changes, because you realize that every doubt, every fall, every emptiness was part of a code designed to force you to remember who you are and why you came. Write in the comments, "I am remembering who I am." And if you want to go deeper, check the benefits and become a member. The reason for your incarnation was never outside of you, and that is exactly why you've always felt a deep discomfort with the world, as if something were out of place. That discomfort was your soul poking you, telling you that you did not come here to repeat the illusions of this plane. You came to break them. Thoth explains that the soul that descends knows it will enter a veil of forgetting, but accepts because it carries a flame so strong that even asleep, it still pulses. And the secret book of John reveals that within matter there is a spark stolen from the light, and that every incarnation is an attempt by that spark to shine again in full. You and that spark are the same thing, and that is why nothing in this world can satisfy you completely, because your origin is greater than anything that exists here. The pain you feel is not a flaw. It is a compass. It points to the path of remembrance. It points to the exact reason you are alive. And when you begin to look at your own life from that angle, you understand that everything you assumed was failure was training. Every fall was a way of opening cracks for the light to enter. Every person who hurt you was an inverted mirror forcing you to wake up. Thoth always says, the soul incarnates to recover what it lost, the memory of its own greatness. And the secret book of John repeats the same truth in other words. The soul came to steal back its own light. That is the mission. There is no other. You did not come here to have a profession, save money, or please people. You came to remember the truth hidden inside you and radiate it so intensely that not even the shadows of this world can extinguish it. And if you feel that this speaks directly to your essence, it's because your soul is already awakening from its long sleep. And the most powerful part is this. You did not incarnate only to remember. You incarnated to transform. Hermeticism and Gnosis converge when they affirm that an awakened human alters the structure of reality itself. This means that when your soul awakens, it is not just you who changes. The world around you changes. You begin to see that your thoughts carve pathways, your inner state shapes events, your consciousness touches everything that approaches you. The true reason for your incarnation is this. You were sent as a point of light into a dense world to radiate something that did not exist here before you arrived. Every human life is an alchemical operation. You are the philosopher's stone in the making, and once that process begins, nothing can interrupt it. And if you feel that you are starting to remember this now, it is not a coincidence. You only hear this kind of teaching when the soul opens the channel. And when it opens, you realize you were never alone. You realize there were always signs, encounters, dreams, intuitions. The secret book of John calls this the calling from the depth, and Thoth calls it the echo from above within the human. These two teachings never contradict each other. They complete each other. You descended into the world to rise transformed. You came to recover your light and return it to the all brighter than when it left. There is no greater reason than this. And the question that now begins to rise inside you, not from your mind, but from your soul, is something you already feel, but may not know how to put into words. If I truly incarnated for this, then what exactly inside me is awakening right now? What is this growing sensation that feels as if something ancient is trying to break through my chest, as if something old is waking up after thousands of years? Why is this calling intensifying now and not before? What exactly is about to be revealed? You are hearing this title because your soul is prepared for something most people will never be ready for, understanding why you incarnated here. And now I'm going to continue giving you exactly that, directly, without detours, without empty metaphors, without any side paths. The secret book of John and Thoth are unanimous. Your soul is not here to live life, learn lessons, or evolve slowly. Nadarek, you incarnated because there is a blockage in this plane that can only be dissolved by the consciousness of someone who remembers their origin. You came as a spark sent to open a rupture point in the illusion of this world. That is the only reason. Nothing beyond it, nothing below it. You can feel the power of this message only because this truth touches the very root of the motive that brought your spirit into this body. Your physical presence is a calculated spiritual operation. And when you understand this, everything that once felt confusing begins to gain an almost painful clarity. Thoth says the soul descends knowing it will be suffocated by layers of forgetting, yet also knowing it carries a key no other being in this plane possesses. And the secret book of John confirms that the material world traps only those who do not remember why they came. You came to break that forgetting, and that is why so many times you felt that your life didn't quite fit you. That discomfort is proof that your soul never surrendered. You incarnated to remember, and by remembering, to activate the reason you came, to release the spark imprisoned within the human and restore its connection to the source. That is the only real purpose of your presence on this planet. And the most striking part is that this reason is not lost or hidden outside of you. It always appears in those moments when you feel that something greater is trying to awaken you from within. In Hermeticism, this is called the inner voice of origin. In Gnosis, it is the memory from above. It is the same phenomenon, your soul attempting to remember why it agreed to descend into this world. And when that memory begins to return, everything begins to move. You understand that your life is not random, that your pain was not useless, that your path has always pointed to this revelation. You incarnated to reclaim the truth that was asleep within you and manifest it here, where it is needed. This planet needs souls who remember, and that is why you are here. And now that you feel this pulsing even stronger, the question inevitably arises, the one that pulls you deeper into your own center. What exactly inside you is awakening so intensely when you hear this truth? Which part of your consciousness is beginning to tear the veil right now? And why is it precisely in this moment of your life that this is erupting, as if something ancient were returning in full force? You are hearing this only because your soul is demanding more clarity, more precision, and more truth about the real reason you incarnated here. And now I'm going to continue without repeating anything, going even deeper while keeping absolute focus on the central theme, the true reason for your incarnation. The secret book of John describes that the soul does not descend out of curiosity or by accident, but because there is a primordial rupture in human consciousness that can only be restored by those who carry a memory older than the material universe itself. You are one of them. That is why you incarnated, because your consciousness does not belong to forgetting. It belongs to awakening. This is the center of everything, and Thoth explains that when a soul of this origin enters the body, it arrives with a silent programming to reveal its own light throughout the course of the life. This means that even when you get lost, even when you become contaminated by the illusions of the world, there is something inside you that does not go out, because extinguishing that flame would make your incarnation useless, and that is not permitted. The reason you incarnated cannot fail. It is greater than your fears, greater than your story, greater than anything you have lived. And the most intriguing part is that this reason does not appear as an external mission. It is not a job, a duty, or a task. It appears as an internal pressure, a constant restlessness whispering, "There is something you need to remember." The secret book of John calls this the hidden breath. Thoth calls it the indestructible memory. It is the same force. It is what brought you here. It is what placed you in this exact moment listening to this revelation. And when this pressure from the soul intensifies, it forces you to question everything. You feel that nothing you were taught about existence truly makes sense. This happens because your soul did not accept the anesthetic of matter. It did not come to be put to sleep, it came to awaken. You only incarnated because you were capable of breaking what others cannot. That is the reason. Breaking what binds, breaking what limits, breaking what obscures your own origin. And this inner rupture is what begins to push you into deeper levels of perception. You see hidden patterns in situations, encounters, words, and silences. And this is not emotional sensitivity. It is the mechanism of your soul remembering the reason it came. Every insight you have is not random. It is the programming of your incarnation beginning to activate. And Hermeticism reveals that any soul that descends with this function cannot be defeated by the density of matter because it was not born here. It does not belong to the laws of this plane. That is why you always felt you never fully fit in. Your soul did not come to fit. It came to break. That is the reason. And the more you recognize this, the more your consciousness begins to shift into the state Thoth describes as the fixation of light. And this state is not mystical in a fantastical sense. It is practical, internal, direct. It is the moment you realize, I am not here just to live. I am here to remember and radiate this remembrance. And this is exactly what the secret book of John calls the return of the spark. Your soul incarnated to activate this spark until it once again recognizes the source that sent it. And the most powerful part is that this process does not depend on the world. It depends only on your internal state. The reason for your incarnation is not affected by circumstances. On the contrary, circumstances are shaped to provoke your awakening. That is why some of your pains were so specific. They were not punishments. They were keys that pushed you toward the real reason you are here. And when you begin to see this, you realize that the true reason for your incarnation is not in the future. It is happening now. With every insight, every deep question, every moment where you feel this makes sense in a way nothing else does, you are fulfilling the purpose this planet never wanted you to remember. Your soul came to ignite consciousness, beginning with your own. And that ignition is what the Gnostic texts call the upward movement of the soul. It is not physical, it is internal. It is when the soul begins to reclaim the sovereignty it lost. And Thoth describes this as the instant the soul recognizes itself as eternal even within the flesh. You incarnated to reach that instant. That is why you are here. There is no explanation more true than that. And the more you accept this truth, the clearer it becomes that the reason for your incarnation was never hidden. It was just buried under the noise of the world. With each layer of illusion you dissolve, the reason becomes clearer. You are here to remember your nature and radiate it until your entire life responds to that remembrance. This process began the moment you were born, and it continues now as you absorb these words. And this reason is so powerful that it connects itself to everything you do without you even noticing. Your interests, your pain, your longings, your restlessness, everything has been shaped to lead you back to the memory of your origin. This is high spiritual engineering. It is pure Hermeticism, pure Gnosis. It is the soul returning to itself. And if you feel this truth as an impact in your chest, as if something ancient were awakening again, that is the final proof that you are ready to embody the reason for your incarnation. Not because someone told you, but because your soul is responding. This cannot be faked. And it is precisely at this point that a new question begins to open a portal within you. If your soul incarnated with such a specific purpose, what else is it about to reveal now that you have begun to remember? Which part of you is still asleep, waiting for the next step of this revelation? And what will happen when that next level finally opens before you? You did not come here just to learn. You came to anchor a frequency that this world is missing. Imagine your soul as a high-precision antenna. When it incarnates, it installs a new signal within the earthly grid. This signal rebalances something that is out of tune in the world. That is the single reason, nothing more. You exist to be this living antenna that restores equilibrium in the invisible layers that govern the tangible. The problem this solves is simple and brutal. The material plane lost an essential signature. Where there was harmony, noise emerged. Your soul accepted the task of bringing that signature back into matter. This is not a primary collective assignment. It is a specific one. You, with your unique tone, were chosen to anchor this frequency among people, in places, in bloodlines, and in patterns that repeat pain. Context. The secret book of John and Thoth described this event as an act of fixation. It's not vague mysticism. It's energetic action. Your physical presence creates points of coherence that alter the relationship between cause and effect around you. This is why your life contains episodes that feel programmed, synchronicities that are not coincidences, but instruments that help you install your signal. A practical solution within this purpose. Your task does not require spectacular works. It requires intimate coherence. Every choice, guided by the true center of your soul, expands the field you came to anchor. It's not about producing external miracles. It's about maintaining the correct internal pulse. Small, repeated decisions make you a node of stability. Subtlety is power. Immediate application. Notice where your emotions and intentions create change. When you act with inner clarity and firmness, the environment responds as if a switch has been flipped. People shift their behavior, circumstances rearrange, doors that looked sealed suddenly open. This is the operational proof of the reason for your incarnation. You alter the world because you sustain a different energetic signature. There is a cost. Being an antenna requires resilience. You will often be misunderstood, isolated, or perceived as strange. This is not a mistake. It is a consequence of your function. The planet reacts with resistance because every new wave clashes with an ocean of old ones. Your vocation requires you to withstand this friction without dissolving your original pulse. The yin and yang of this purpose also appear in your relationships. You did not come to dominate. You came to integrate. Wherever there is distortion, your vibration, when stable, does not impose. It integrates. People around you may feel a contrast. Either they align with you and recover a lost tone, or they pull away because they cannot withstand the shift. This is part of the operation, to separate what can be harmonized from what cannot. Concrete measures that feed your antenna, daily presence, direct silence, attention to internal boundaries, acting with few words and clear gestures. These are not complex rituals. They are precise actions that keep your tone clean. Do less. Do it right. Every clean gesture is like tightening the knot on the anchor you came to plant. Signs of progress are simple and objective. Tensions that once dominated, you lose force. Old fears stop steering your choices. Connections that drained your energy become clearer. These are not merely psychological effects. They are energetic indicators that your signature is being accepted by the fabric of the planet. Observe, record, repeat. The collective dimension of your action is essential and silent. You do not transform masses with speeches. You alter lines. Your presence influences individuals who then influence wider circles. It is intimate geometry, points of light shifting social vectors. This is how your incarnation works as discrete engineering of reality. Do not confuse humility with passivity. Anchoring a frequency requires tactical courage. You will have to cut ties that block the flow, reject habits that numb your tone, and maintain decisions that seem small but are surgical. Every conscious renunciation is a weld that fixes your antenna into the fabric of the world. The secret book of John and Thoth also affirm that this function comes with associated memories. Before arriving, agreements were made with the intelligence that governs the flow. These contracts are not shackles of destiny, they are commitments of service. Accepting this commitment does not restrict your freedom, it clarifies it. Knowing the contract gives you direction, not imprisonment. A direct consequence. You begin to recognize where your energy is needed and where it would be wasted. Learning to choose is part of the task. Spending your signature on small battles dilutes the effect. Selective focus multiplies it. This selectiveness is discipline applied to the purpose of your incarnation. There is also a dimension of transmission. You came to teach through presence, not just words. When your antenna is strong, people learn to listen in a different way. They remember through resonance, not argument. That is why true leaders seem simple, because the lesson has already been embodied in the way they exist. All of this converges into a practical, direct conclusion. The single reason for your incarnation is to be the bridge that brings a lost note back into the great chord of life. It is not symbolic, it is functional. Your soul accepted the role of a restorative element in the system. You did not choose this out of vanity. You chose it because your inner nature was capable of it. And now, considering that your antenna operates in silence yet produces real effect, what is the next step you will take to keep this signal pure and unshaken amid the constant noise of this planet? How will you protect your signature without isolating yourself? What simple, precise gesture can you repeat today to consolidate the reason you came? You came because before you were born, there was a conscious choice. Your soul signed to enter a body in order to operate as a catalyst of coherence where there was fracture. It wasn't curiosity, it was a contract. And this contract is not external, it is an inner agreement that structures your entire presence here. When your soul descended, it received a seal, an energetic pattern, encoded into your field and into your cells. This seal works like an activation code. The moment you strike the correct inner tone, the code responds and begins reorganizing the immediate reality around you. This isn't poetic mysticism, it is the functional action of the soul. The world tests this seal through practical trials, losses, confusion, frustration. These trials do not exist to punish you, but to reveal whether you maintain or abandon the signature you agreed to. Your resistance to collapsing into noise is what shows whether the seal is materializing into real effect. There is an activation rhythm described in the secret book of John and by Thoth as progressive and precise. First, an inner recognition, then small alterations in your routine, and then field changes that begin affecting other people. Each phase demands rigor, not indulgence. The task is technical, not romantic. Your physical body carries memories of the mission. There are automatic responses, reactions, intuitions, dreams that act as sensors. Learning to read these signals is part of your obligation. When you respond correctly, the seal advances. When you ignore it, it recedes. This is applied soul engineering. Fulfilling this mission requires an economy of energy. Some places amplify your signature, while others drain it. Knowing how to choose environments, relationships, and tasks is as essential as meditation. Your work is not to be everywhere. It is to be where your effect multiplies. The teaching here is direct. Treat your life as a laboratory. Test small actions that confirm the seal. One firm decision, one necessary cut, one word spoken without fear. Watch the results. Repeat what works. This sharpens the presence you came to anchor. The mission has a clear criterion of truth, measurability. The seal reveals itself through observable changes, less inner tension, behaviors that reverse old patterns, encounters that transform. If nothing changes in practice, the idea never left the conceptual stage. The reason for your incarnation demands proof. There is also a moment of public trial. When your inner operation reaches a certain level, it begins to alter structures around you without deliberate effort. People, routines, and even physical spaces respond. This is not exhibitionist power. It is simply the side effect of your signature doing its restorative work. Part of the discipline is refusing distractions that demand your attention out of vanity or someone else's urgency. Your soul signed for something specific. Every dispersion weakens its intensity. Maintaining focus is a form of sacred pragmatism. It preserves the force that sustains the reason you came. To negotiate with the world half-heartedly is not an option. Either you act as an instrument of adjustment, or you get lost in the buffet of illusions. The original choice your soul made defines you always. Recognizing that choice renews your direction, gives priority, and cuts indecision. The operation you brought here is not fulfilled through elevated feelings alone. It requires firm and courageous decisions. When you act with precision, the seal anchors itself deeper. When you hesitate, the fabric of the world pushes back with its old pattern. Your incarnation was designed for lucid, nerve-steady action. And if you accept that you came with a contract and a seal, then the remaining question is practical and immediate. What short gesture today proves that you are committed to this reason? What cut, what word, what posture will reaffirm your agreement with your soul and amplify the signature you came here to stabilize? And when you understand that the only reason your soul descended into matter is to recover what has always belonged to you, the uncontaminated spark hidden behind all the illusions of this world, something shifts in your field. Because this understanding is not theoretical, it is initiatory. It begins to reorganize your perception. The soul incarnated in order to remember what forgetfulness tried to erase. And now that you stand before this key point revealed both in the secret book of John and by Thoth, there is a further fragment of this knowledge you must hear if you truly want to access the exact motive for your existence here. And that is what I am about to release next. Because without this next understanding, nothing is complete. Become a member of the channel, because it opens access to Hermetic rituals, hidden keys, and activations you will not find anywhere else. It is fast, direct, and it transforms your spiritual path in practice. And if you have reached this point, it means you are standing at the exact threshold of your own line of destiny, ready to cross the next portal. Subscribe to the channel, not as someone who follows content, but as someone who returns to the circle of those who remember. Each subscription here is a silent initiatory seal that recognizes you as part of the lineage of seekers Thoth always called those who listen in the darkness. And now, breathe, because the sentence that closes this stage still holds a secret directly connected to the title. The soul descends only to recover what the world cannot offer.